agenda.
Thank you so much, Romeo, for that. And of course, we'll be getting more into your views. Keep them coming. #morning@10TV. No, because your view does count, especially with regards to what we can do with our debts. It's not yet a crisis, but if we don't, look into it, it's going to get into a crisis. We're not yet in the 50% GDP to debt ratio, so let's work on that. #morning@10TV is where we can engage. We're getting into a conversation, take note conversation this morning. Now, Rotary has been working to eradicate polio for more than 30 years, and they've made incredible progress in the fight to rid the world of this forever. Now, Rotary International, helped by Fund and a Global Polio Eradication Initiative, which involves the World Health Organization, UNICEF, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. So Rotary says it has committed to raising $50 million every year for the effort, and the Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation has pledged to contribute about $150. This is in millions each year. Now, the funds are intended to help with the operational support, medical works, lab equipment, and educational material. Now, to join us this morning for this conversation, to just have that breakdown of the final drive to eradicate polio in Africa, we have the past district governor, Rotary District 9211, that is the Rotary Uganda and Tanzania, Mr. Kenneth Mugisha. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Hotel Mala.
You're welcome. All right, so Rotary has done quite amazingly. You can imagine setting aside $50 million every year with no fail for the past 30 years. This is quite amazing, and I think that's why we're counting down to 2020 when we're expecting the WHO, the World Health Organization, to declare Africa polio-free. Are we on course? Still have a few months to go?
Yes, we are on course. The only challenges we have right now is Pakistan and Afghanistan. And these are countries, because of the tribal leaders, they've killed the volunteers leading this campaign, because they have that belief that the vaccines are coming from America and coming from the Muslim world. It's about stopping their population growth,
yes,
and maybe stopping them from producing children. But Rotary has not relaxed. Over the years, it has come with new innovation, and one of them, like in Pakistan and Afghanistan, where it is still endemic, where we still have few cases still so far this year in their 20s, which we believe is really calmed down. We have dressed men like women, carrying vaccines around their bodies to reach out to those children unnoticed.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the few times they got our volunteers, they've all been killed.
Wow.
But we are still working so hard in those areas, and we believe in our lifetime we are going to announce a polio-free world.
Right.
You talked about the Bill and Melinda Foundation. This is a march and a challenge which was given to us as Rotarians, because Bill and Melinda Foundation are one of our biggest partners in polio eradication. So they gave us a challenge of 1 to 2. That we bring $1, they bring 2.
Okay.
And that is when we go that campaign of bringing $50 and they bring 100, making it 150. Out of that, so many multinationals came on board, and they said, wow, we can come and join Rotarians in this campaign. And while we were at the convention in Atlanta, when Bill Gates unveiled this partnership, a total of over $1.1 billion was committed in 3 years.
All right.
From governments of Canada, USA, Australia, and others, working with the Rotarians and Bill and Melinda Foundation to make sure that we achieve our target. Just to give you a little more about some figures, why do we spend that money? Last year, and that was in 2018-2019 Rotary year, a total of $186 million was spent towards polio.
Okay.
Which means polio still remains Rotary's #1 priority and area of focus, looking at announcing a polio-free world.
You know, Mr. Mugisha, and as you're making your, submission, you pointed out to the wariness of people, in different regions on the intention of this vaccine, polio vaccine, them being afraid that it's for different hidden intentions, bringing down the population, so to speak. It has been the same worry right here at home. We know that the Ministry of Health rolled out this huge, massive vaccination and immunization drive for measles, rubella, and polio as well. And quite a number of parents who are shunning it away, skeptical that this could be a hidden agenda. I want you to speak to that today, this morning, just to tell these parents that, hey, just let your children get these immunizations. Speak to that, skepticism of there being a hidden agenda in this massive vaccination policies and drive, so to speak. Is there any hidden agenda? Maybe you can start from there.
Yes, there's no hidden agenda.
All right.
First of all, the vaccines have been tested and proven that they don't have any side effects towards the children who are immunized. Mm-hmm. And I think the perception has changed in our country, Uganda. That is why even if we got the last cases in Nigeria, Uganda, we've not had a case for quite a very long time.
Correct.
Which means the parents of these children have realized that this is about saving lives, and it is about saving their children from being crippled because of that paralysis coming from polio. Mm. So just to reassure the population and the masses that there's no ill intention about vaccination. It is to the best of our children to make sure that they're immunized and they live like the children all over the world, normal life, right, happy, and to be sure that their future is guaranteed.
Right.
Because it takes away that confidence when a child is crippled, having been crippled because of polio. Mm-hmm. The effects go beyond even including education and right, others. So that confidence is what we are looking at, and making sure that the children of the world live normally like others.
Polio eradication is directly under your docket, because you also serve as the assistant regional Rotary Foundation coordinator for Rotary International. And I'm sure you're privy to how Nigeria was able to eradicate polio. When you look at the statistics, in 2006, they did have 1,122 children affected by polio. These numbers went down, and we're looking at the year pretty much 2012, where the number went down to 200. Now, we're looking at close to zero, so to speak. So what strategies did they employ in bringing this, big numbers or huge infections down? And what can other states, for example, you pointed out to Syria, what can they borrow from this? Especially Nigeria. We know that it's a huge country, population quite wide, a booming economy, but yet they were affected.
Yes. The challenge in Nigeria was, one, because of the current wars, and that is the Boko Haram. Again, they use the same version, like the one which is in Pakistan and Afghanistan, because Boko Haram, they say they're fighting on using the Muslim faith, which we believe is not true, because there are so many other nations which are Muslim nations, but they have embraced the eradication of polio. Now, Rotary in Nigeria took it upon themselves to champion and spearhead the eradication of polio in Nigeria through contributions, but using the Rotary clubs through the different districts, because Nigeria has several districts of Rotary. So the campaign was spearheaded by the district governors and all the leaders to make sure that polio is their #1 priority. That is the reason why you saw the numbers coming down significantly.
Right.
And the good news is that Nigeria for the past 2 years hasn't had any case.
Right.
And soon, if it continues the same, it is going to be certified as well, being a polio-free country or nation.
Right. And of course, coming back home, we are still not relenting. Over the past 3 years, we've been polio-free. Congratulations, of course, to Rotary and the Ministry of Health, so to speak, and everyone at the forefront of fighting polio. Now, my question to you is, Thursday, last week, we did mark the World Polio Day. And as Rotary Uganda here, we're still, pushing to make sure that we do our part, continue to do our part to that date. 2020, when we'll be declared polio free, of course trying to rally other African states as well. Tell us more about what it is that Rotary is doing currently, and we did see the launch last week. Tell us, get us into the details and how, of course, the public can jump on board to support this.
First of all, we did the launching using the Rotary Club of Mienga Tankil, and where our guest of honor was the Ministry of Health, and we had a keynote speaker from World Health Organization. But taking the leadership of Rotary, our district governor, the current district governor, Xavier Sentamu, led a group of Rotarians to climb Mount Kilimanjaro to raise funds towards this cause of raising the $50 million. And each of the participants made a contribution of $1,000 towards the Rotary Foundation for the eradication of polio. But what is happening in all other clubs, using the launch, it was like opening up a campaign for the Rotary clubs. In Uganda alone, we have over 100.
Right, Rotary clubs.
Yes,
yeah.
110 Rotary clubs, which means that in all their locations, using things like Rotary Family Health Days, which were also launched recently, that polio immunization and giving that vaccine to the children was one of our priorities. So we used the launch to roll out to all clubs to know that we shouldn't relent. The moment we blink, polio can be back again, and with a lot of vengeance. So that was what we did as Rotary,
right.
And we are looking forward to make sure that all clubs participate to continue giving those vaccines for the children. Yeah.
You know, you said something that is quite critical, and I think this means that even past 2020, once Africa is declared polio free, we still won't rest.
Yes, we won't.
We still won't rest.
We won't.
Now, of course, that brings me to the other question. How is polio transmitted from one person to the other?
Polio, there are different ways medically, but the one of the most common one is about interaction, which is the worst. It brings the paralysis to the children once one who is having polio mixes with another without. It becomes very, very easy to get with that contraction. Yeah.
Right. So every single year we'll still see, will this number go up? We're now committing $50 million every single year to eradicating polio. But once you're declared polio free 2020, are we going to see that target go down or higher? What is likely to happen?
We are supposed to maintain a polio free world. That's what we are looking at it. And then we'll celebrate. It will be the biggest celebration, not only in Rotary, but all over the world.
Right.
One thing we must understand is that, as I said, that virus, you will never say no, that it won't come back again. We have to be very sure. That is why the campaign is going to continue, using the hospitals, using the communities which do not have access to health facilities. Rotarians will continue reaching out to these communities. The way we have been doing it, having the Rotary Family Healthy Days, it's the same way we are going to continue having the same, because when we undertake such programs as Rotary, you just see the need in these communities by the masses who leave their homes from 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 6, to trek long distances, keeping themselves with those challenges they have, waiting for the free services we offer as Rotarians, because most of them, they lack the resources to go to check themselves in these health centers and health facilities. So all the time they're looking at that calendar, that when are the dates when Rotary is coming to us in our communities to immunize our children, to treat those who suffer from different ailments.
Right.
It's the same campaign we are going to continue with.
So we're still going to maintain our pledge of $50 million every single year, even post 2020.
It was initially 3 years. Let's look at the first 3 years. And you remember it was 150 in 3 years to make 450. It grew from 450 to over 1.1 billion because so many multinationals and governments came on board. We believe after the 3 years we are going to gauge ourselves and judge and see that how far have we gone. if we believe the campaign should continue because of those two countries, which we believe in those years it will be gone.
Right.
Then we'll come back with our partners, because Rotary is promoting partnerships more than ever before, and then say, how do we go for this last push? But now we believe the last push is these 3 years.
All right, okay. And of course, wow, congratulations on that one. I know it wasn't a mean feat. I remember we were having a conversation and you're saying that it's hard to even just, you know, relax, so to speak. It became part and parcel of your agenda as a person, moving from one country to the other, preaching the same cause and making sure that Rotarians do understand the, you know, this particular mission and the cause and where the monies, you know, pretty much are going to. Now, the other focus that Rotary is keen on as we bring this to a wrap is eradicating cancer. Cancer is becoming the other giant in our communities, you know, affecting families, taking lives of loved ones, breadwinners, so to speak. We've been having Rotary cancer runs every single year. Do you foresee a future whereby we're going to eradicate cancer as well? Is that possible?
Those are prayers. And it has piqued a lot of interest, more so in Uganda, because each of us has lost someone because of cancer. One, maybe it's because of lifestyle, but at the same time, it relates to the destroying the environment. If we cut down all these trees and the leaves protect us from these carbon emissions which come direct to our bodies.
Right.
Now, the way we do things as individuals is one of the reasons why we have cancer, why cancer is killing so many resourceful people. Every life matters in this world. As Rotarians, we started a campaign of a cancer run. I am on the board of trustees of the Uganda Rotary Cancer Program, to rally Ugandans to understand that we can do something, that we cannot just sit by. And the first thing we did was to build the cancer ward in Nsambya Hospital.
Correct.
And using our Rotary Foundation, a team of doctors came to train our doctors and nurses on the modern ways of treating cancer. And the several cancers, to see that when we get the facilities back home here in Uganda, how are we ready? Do we have the personnel to treat people because of cancer? When we run now, we are looking at installing 2 linear accelerator machines in Nsambya Hospital. Our vision and our main goal is to make sure that we do not chase away people because of lack of resources, lack of funds. But at the same time, we've been losing a lot of money because we do not have the modern facilities to treat people because of cancer.
Right.
So we are bringing in the most modern linear accelerator machines, and the challenge has been one, that when we got the equipment, what are we looking at? Building the bunkers in Nsambya Hospital. But building those bunkers, each of them costs $1 million. So we're looking at putting up 2, and that is $2 million.
Correct.
We are going to start the construction because we have raised some good chunk of it, a very big percentage out of it, the $1 million, to start with one. We are grateful with Nsambya Hospital because they have offered us more land to expand. When we are done with Nsambya Hospital, we are looking at doing it regional.
Right.
Remember, I told you cancer is the biggest killer disease now.
Correct. In Uganda.
In
and
Uganda.
I think Africa is also grappling with the
Going
same.
down even to the little children, they tell you a child has cancer because of these borders. They emit, and these emissions come direct to our bodies because we've destroyed the environment, like what I said.
Correct.
But even because of our lifestyle, life's getting better, and people, you know, lifestyle comes with so many things,
Right.
a lot of garbage.
Right.
So cancer is one area we're looking at.
And we're on course.
And yes, and we are on course. We believe we are going to save more people because early detection of cancer can make someone receive treatment early enough,
Right.
and so that they can live and live like others. Yeah.
Right. And of course, the message that you're preaching every single day is cancer is curable.
Yes.
Once detected early, there's cure.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming through. I'd like you to give your last remarks to Ugandans and Rotarians alike. Camera one is yours. Speak directly to them. What would you like them to know in light of polio, our move, our fight, and also just point out to cancer and other projects, so to speak, for Ugandans to also come on board and support the cause as well?
Thank you very much. As Rotary, we've spearheaded so many campaigns. One of them, and our number one priority, is polio eradication. Every year, we immunize over 400 million people all over the world, and that is why I said last year we spent 186 to spearhead that campaign, paying over 150,000 volunteers all over the world, buying those vaccines, and channeling them through our partners, and these are the experts, WHO, UNICEF, and the ministries of health all over the world. But Rotary has not stopped at only polio eradication as our number one priority. We are doing so many projects. We've just talked about cancer, where Rotarians have built a cancer ward. We are looking at putting up bunkers. We are looking at taking it regional. When we feel we are done with Nsambia Hospital, fully equipped, then we'll look at other regions to make sure that people do not have to walk long distances
Right.
coming to Mulago and Nsambia for cancer treatment and better health care. But Rotarians all over the world, we've done so many water projects. Right now, we are the beneficiary of the second biggest grant outside polio. And that project has come to Uganda. It is a $4 million water and sanitation and hygiene project. The $4 million, mainly it is going to be done in partnership with USAID, because Rotary International contributed $2 million, and then USAID contributed $2 million.
Right.
So we are going to improve on hygiene, water and sanitation,
Right.
rolling out to schools in northern Uganda. We're looking in central Uganda and many other parts.
Okay.
But on top of that, I spearheaded a campaign called Rotary Mission Green, where in 2017-2018, when I was a district governor, we planted. But I don't like to use the word planting. I would love the word growing.
We grew trees.
Grew trees.
Right.
3.6 million trees. We've signed so many MOUs with the Ministry of Water and Environment,
Right.
the Uganda Kingdom, Toro Kingdom,
Right.
the local urban authorities, and so many others,
Okay.
to make sure that we bring back the environment to where it used to be,
All right.
to make sure that we leave a legacy as Ugandans. My appeal to this regard is to all Ugandans that when we plant these trees, let's see them grow. Let's not unleash our goats to eat away these trees, because we'll be destroying the future of our nation.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rotarian Kenneth Mugisha, for coming through.
Thank you so
and
much.
we salute you for all the amazing things you're doing, Rotarians alike and Ugandans alike.
you.
Let's
Thank you
support
so
each
much.
other in this particular mission. At this point
Thank
in
you so
time, we'd
much.
like to link to Mr. Stephen Bide. He's on standby to give us the updates with regards to how the roads look like this morning. Stephen Bide, good morning.